Welcome, jesters. Today's drama is Disneyland Abu Dhabi. Yes, yesterday or the day before, the Walt Disney Company announced a partnership with Morel over in the UAE to build Disneyland Dubai, their seventh resort, and it would be the 13th global theme park for them. Yes, I will be visiting Disneyland Dubai. No, I am not worried. I am not going to be arrested. Not at all. This is what everybody is freaking out about because the UAE is, let's just say, not very progressive related to homosexual acts. Okay, I get that, but let's take a step back and realize what we're dealing with here. The UAE, particularly Abu Dhabi and Dubai, want to be global tourist destinations. So they are not going to run around randomly arresting gay people and throwing them in jail. And no, they are not going to bust the hotel room doors down of gay couples to arrest them and throw them in jail. That would not be very tourist friendly. And in fact, if you take a superficial look at the laws in the UAE, and they're never very complicated, they are pretty much the laws that used to be in place here and in much of the West not even 20 years ago. So, okay, they're a little bit behind, but not that far behind, right? And well, put it this way. I'm not worried. However, I did want to sort of follow up and see what the scope of this was. So I asked Grok about some incidents of foreigners being arrested for homosexual acts in the UAE. And yes, he did come up with a few. However, I want to point out that all of these acts were otherwise indecent acts that I would not engage in. Like the most prominent one, or the most specific one, is like, yes, two men were arrested for homosexual acts in a public bathroom. Newsflash, you can be arrested for that here, and it has nothing to do with being gay. Yes, you can be arrested for sex acts in a public bathroom. So, okay. Now, of course, it would be better if, gay sex acts simply were not illegal in the UAE, which they are. They actually are illegal. Again, like it was here in some places not even 20 years ago. But this gives me the opportunity to remind all of my friends over in the LGBTQIAA plus 2S community. Yeah, and yes, I do have friends over there. That we wouldn't be talking about this if President Trump were allowed to implement his global initiative to decriminalize homosexuality. Yes, led by Richard Grenell. Yes, they announced this back in, was it 2017? No, 2018, 2019? Yes, Donald Trump and his global initiative to decriminalize homosexuality. Yes, Donald Trump. Yes, he wanted to do that. So, yeah, it's a shame that he never got the opportunity to do that. Well, who knows? Maybe now we will have the chance to finally decriminalize homosexuality at the global scale under President Trump. I'm just saying, right? However, what's even more fun related to Disney is to watch the absolute meltdown of the Disney fandom over this, realizing that, I'm not going to say they were betrayed. I'm just saying that it is honestly refreshing to hear them realize that they were being pandered to this whole time. It is nothing but another corporate pander job. And all the giant corporations do this, Target and everybody else with all the Pride merchandise. Okay, yes, I'm glad you are finally realizing that these corporations don't care about you in that respect. All they care about is your money. And quite frankly, that's how it should be. So gay people of the West, don't be afraid. Go ahead, make your plans as soon as it's announced. Go visit Disneyland Dubai. I'm sure you will have a fantastic time. Just don't make out in public, which I wouldn't do anyway, even at Walt Disney World. So yeah, I'm not worried at all. Oh, and I will also leave you with this closing thought. They definitely are not going to be arresting Americans for this. Well, with President JD, President Marco, President Ron, And they definitely will not be arresting Americans for this under President Trump. You know I'm right.